Hey, good morning everybody. Good Thursday morning. I thought I'd talk about something. I've been talking about Heathcliff a lot lately and how the show's back on this TV and everything. Um, but I want to talk about mainly the secondary show. The one that's really, I think, gained a cult following and a fan following, if you will, throughout the years. Because, believe it or not, this show, and I used Extra Normal to talk about this show. I said that this was one of the shows that really needed to make a comeback, even though it was like the second segment in the early to mid '80s Heathcliff show. It should have definitely gotten its own spin-off segment, spin-off show, if you will, and it should still get one eventually. As far as I'm concerned. And I'm talking about, well, the name that's under here. In fact, you could see the characters. I don't know if you could really see them that well, depending on the light. But the characters right here that I'm talking about, if I can probably hold that away a little bit. But right there, the Catillac Cats. I know it's a little blurry because of the sunlight. Maybe if I turn on a light here or something, that'll help out a little bit. Maybe not, but still, those are the characters I'm talking about. The Catillac Cats in the background that you can see, and actually up here too. See, and the reason I say that they should have a show, and they should make a comeback, basically. Basically, is because their segment of their second half of the Heathcliff and Cadillac Cat show, to me, was probably, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you would agree with this, was probably the more adventurous portion of that half hour. Now, I'm not saying Heathcliff wasn't adventurous or anything, but here's the difference. Here's what I think made the Cadillac Cats more popular in terms of fandom at times. Not saying there's not a lot of Heathcliff fans out there, but the reason a lot of people like these characters more, the reason they draw these characters more, especially the female character of Cleo a lot in fan art and stuff like that, is because their adventures were worldwide, if you will. And that's no lie either. I mean, they were worldwide. I mean, one moment they're in Westminster, whatever the town's name is, Westminster. The next, they're in the African jungle. One moment they're in Westminster, next, they're in the South Pole. Or they're in Catalantis, or they're on a camping adventure trying to get to a concert, or they're in the big city, which looks like San Francisco to me, because I just saw a little bit of the Cat Balloon episode. But things like that, or they're in Saudi Arabia or something, trying to rescue Cleo from this sheik of a cat that wants to make her part of his harem, if you will. Things like that. And to me, this is what really made this show different. Really, I guess in a way, kind of like I said earlier, it kind of caused a bit of a cult and fan following because it was different. It was out of the ordinary. I'm pretty sure that when the people came up with these characters, or the person that came up with these characters, they knew that they had to do something similar to Heathcliff in some ways. Like, okay, Riff Raff, he's a short guy, have him be the leader of the group, but don't have him, like Heathcliff, have a girlfriend that's the same size. I'm pretty sure they said, if we're going to make this show different, we need to give Heathcliff a statuesque girlfriend. Because if he's leading a group of statuesque cats, like Hector Wordsworth and Mungo, then he needs a statuesque girlfriend. And that's where he got Cleo from. Not saying that Cleo at times doesn't share the same traits as Heathcliff's girlfriend Sonia. I mean, I saw, today in Heathcliff's Middle Name this morning, that episode came on. And there's some other ones too. Sonia at times is always, kind of goes through these phases. She wants Heathcliff to be mature, so she goes after mature guys. She wants Heathcliff to stop fighting, so she goes with guys that don't fight. But in the end, she always ends up going back to Heathcliff because she realizes no matter what she tries to find, nothing's going to replace the general article, and then she's got to learn to accept it. The same with Cleo. Cleo's the same way. Cleo at times will go through phases like, okay, in Cat Balloon, she wanted out of the big city. She wanted to go to the big city for some fun and excitement. Riff Raff gave that to her. And Cruising for a Bruising, which I saw this morning off the DVD. She wanted to go on a cruise. Riff Raff said, don't worry. I'll take you on a cruise, that way we can patch things up between ourselves, and I promise the guys, Hector Wordsworth and Mungo, are not going to be around. And that's what happens. He takes her on the cruise and lives up to that promise. But again, like I said, Cleo does have her weaknesses like Sonia. You know, she wants that kind of stuff. At times she does want a sophisticated guy, but realizes she's got the perfect guy in Riff Raff. At times she wants fancy jewelry and all that, but she realizes she doesn't need it because she has everything, she already has everything she needs. In fact, there's an episode coming up, I think it's next week, called Much Ado About Bedding, where Riff Raff promises Cleo he's going to get her this bed for her to sleep in, but yet, at the end, in case some of you haven't seen this episode, it's a spoiler, but in the end she kind of says, hey, it's the thought that counts. Again, even though she may have those similarities, she's not afraid to do something that Sonia, as far as I know, has only done once in the Heathcliff cartoons, and that's fight. That is the one thing that really differentiates these characters. Yeah, Heathcliff's a fighter, he fights all the time. But here's the thing, you look at Cruising for a Bruising, Cat Balloon, and all that, and you got these characters fighting with all different kinds of cats and animals. I mean, Cruising for a Bruising is a good example. I mean, all you need to do is take two snotty, stuck-up characters, put them right in front of characters like Riff Raff and Cleo, and all it takes is a couple of insults, and next thing you know, Cleo and Riff Raff are kicking ass. You know, and that's something you never saw from Heathcliff and Sonia. Sonia and Heathcliff only fought individually, and like I said, Sonia only did it once, while Heathcliff did it all the time. But again, what makes this so different from Heathcliff, to me, was the fact that it was worldwide. And they were more, I guess you could say they were more for the new generation, if you will. They were more for that time's generation, or even today's generation. They were more like that, it's kind of like, how do I say it? They're kind of like a group of friends, a clique, if you will. You know, they hang together, they stay together, they work together, they do whatever they have to together. Heck, I mean, take a look at Kitten Around. Even though that one is, you know, could really be taken out of canon as far as I'm concerned. But then again, it's part of the show. Take a look at Kitten Around. Hector Wordsworth and Mungo go as far as to help Cleo sabotage Riff Raff's date with this other cat that he shouldn't be around. I mean, how many times do you see a girl do that? And think of it this way, and think of it this other way. Some people have commented on some of the episodes that are posted on the YT and other video sites that some of the insults characters like Riff Raff, Hector Wordsworth, and Cleo bring out are hardcore and are memorable. But again, those are the things that to me really made this show different from its counterpart that aired before it. And to me, it's always going to be different. It's always going to, I mean, it doesn't matter, to me it's like it doesn't matter what decade or what year the shows are being rerun. I can tell you this, in all honesty, the one show, the one segment out of that half hour that's going to be seen more is the Catillac Cats, because any young kid, any young teenager, any young adult can relate with them in many ways. And again, unlike Heathcliff, most of their adventures were not just in Westchester, but their adventures were all over. I mean, just all over the place. Yeah, the only problem I do see, though, is the two origin stories. Christmas Memories talks about how they all met, including Riff Raff and Cleo, how they met the first time. But then you got High Goon, which is another origin story of how Riff Raff and Cleo met. So, you know, things like that. Those are the only problems, but everything else is just perfect. I mean, take a look at Cat Balloon when they finally catch up to the balloon and, you know, fight the cats on it. The fight continues all the way down to the ground. When they land on the ground, they still fight. It's unreal. It is unreal. So, I mean, so to me, again, this is what I consider makes that show different from Heathcliff. Really, you know, really, it's like, you know, you should give it its own series. In fact, if I was the people at Shout Factory at the time when they did this, and heck, if I'm the people at End Circle and they're listening, this is what I would do. I'd bring out a box set of nothing but Heathcliff, of all the Heathcliff episodes from here, which would probably be all of them. But then I'd bring out a separate one, which is all Catillac Cats. That's what I would do. And I guarantee you, if End Circle Entertainment was to do something like that, or any video company was to do something like that, as much as I'm a fan of Heathcliff, and I am, and who isn't, I guarantee you the Catillac Cats DVD, if it was ever to be made, if one was ever to be made, entirely of all the Catillac Cat episodes or segments, that would sell out more than Heathcliff. That's the damn truth. Because again, fans can relate to the characters. I can relate to the characters. Everybody can relate with the characters. And it doesn't matter what kind of generation you're in, or what year you're in, or what decade. I mean, heck, there's one episode called Trash Dance, which I'm pretty sure was inspired by the fact that when the show came out, what was the biggest crave in dancing? Break dancing. There you go. And the one thing also about the Catillac Cats is they used music. Yeah, Heathcliff used it as well at times, but both shows, I'll give them credit, used the music from Kid Video, which was which was good music. And again, with the Catillac Cats, they used it, I think, once or twice in one episode, once, twice, or three times in one episode. So that was pretty cool. I mean, Trash Dance, you take a look at the ending of that, it's like you're watching something that should be a music video almost. But again, if you have something like that being aired, that just shows you how popular, and how different the Catillac Cats were from Heathcliff, because they were able to adapt the dance craze at the time, which was breakdancing, into one of their episodes. And overall, it's things like that that make this show different from the Heathcliff segment that aired before it, and probably any show at the time, even today. And that to me is why I like the Catillac Cats. That is why I like them. I mean, what are your thoughts? Why do you like the Catillac Cats? What are your favorite moments? Do you remember? Let me know. Comment down here. Do a video response. Let me know. But that's all I'm going to say. Have a good Thursday. Take care. Hey, and if you got time, watch some Catillac Cats on DVD or on the YT. You'll love them.